Welcome, and thank you for joining us for this Operation Blessing special report. Texas underwater, entire communities swept away, more than 100 lives lost. But as the floodwaters recede, hope is rising. Across the Texas Hill Country, floodwaters surged without warning, leaving destruction in their path and heartbreak in their wake. In places like Kerrville and Ingram, families barely had time to react. Homes were submerged, lives were lost, but through it all, something powerful emerged: the unwavering love of neighbors helping neighbors, and the presence of teams ready to serve. In this special report, you'll hear stories of survival, resilience, and the hope that comes when compassion meets crisis. From firsthand survivor accounts to behind-the-scenes looks at the work of Operation Blessing volunteers, this is the story of what happens when people show up to serve in the wake of a disaster. We begin today with a man named William. As floodwaters raged, his family escaped danger in the dark of night with only moments to spare.
I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning with heavy bangs on our door, and I went down, opened the door, and there was the Ingram Volunteer Fire Department saying, "You need to evacuate now." And the water was at that little tree right there. And that's only about 5 foot from here, so that's 20 feet up from the river. We got everything ready. I grabbed all the important papers, our lockbox has got all my wife's jewelry and stuff in it, and the family jewelry. Got my wife, my dogs, and my mother-in-law in the car, and we drove off. And we made a block, and I remembered I forgot my billfold. I went into the trailer, came back out, and I was stepping in water. And all I did was grab my billfold. We left, came back about 3 hours later, and I had all this damage.
William's story is a sobering reminder of how fast disaster can unfold. But it also reflects what's been happening all across this region. People facing the unthinkable and acting with courage. In the days since the flood, Operation Blessing has mounted a wide-reaching response. Over 1,300 hot meals served to flood survivors and first responders. More than 120 volunteers deployed across the impacted area. 4 tractor relief trailer shipments delivered, providing groceries, hygiene essentials, and relief supplies to families displaced by the 1,000-year flood. Operation Blessing staff and volunteers have begun work on homes in the area that experienced significant water damage inside and massive destruction outside. Stationed at the Home Depot store in Kerrville, Texas, Operation Blessing's base of operations has become a hub of activity, a distribution point for Kerr County residents beginning to rebuild their lives. Meanwhile, Operation Blessing partner Kerrville Assembly of God is giving teams of volunteers a place to mobilize, recharge, and head back out to deliver hope to a community that is desperate for it. And one of those hope-filled moments came for a woman named Colleen Lucas. Her story is one of faith, fear, and an impossible decision.
It was a normal day. I woke up and I went to work. 10 minutes till 5, I left my house, and around 6:10, a vendor came into my place of business and told me that one of the businesses in Kerrville were flooding, and at that time I knew my house was flooding. So my husband was at home asleep, so I tried to call him, and he wasn't answering, and I was getting panicky. I was worried about him because I knew my home was underwater or, experiencing water. So I eventually was able to get in my truck and come down Old Ingram Loop to try and retrieve my husband out of our home. And my truck stalled. Water was coming into the truck. I opened the driver's door. I put my left leg out, and the water was almost up to my hip. And I turned around and put my right hand on the door because I knew at that time I could not save my husband. So I went to the firehouse and I prayed. all the way to the firehouse. I just prayed. And I really believe that I was walking on water because I made it safely. And the rescuers came, and that's what saved my husband's life. And I am so blessed. You know, we lost a lot of things, but we didn't lose a life. And everybody needs to understand that lives are irreplaceable. Materialistic things can be replaced, but not a life. So I'm very blessed today to be at my home with some Christian organizations. They're all volunteers, and they have been a true blessing. They are packing my home up. They've managed to make a storage place for them in our garage. You know, there's lots of memories, but those memories you'll hold in your heart and in your mind forever. So they'll never be gone. I have nothing but blessings. I am truly blessed. I mean, I don't know what I would have done without the help from y'all. I mean, the community would help, but everybody has jobs. Everybody has their own devastation going on. You know what I mean? And y'all have it's like a miracle. It's like, oh, wow. You know, we're going to be moving into a studio apartment this weekend, and we were wondering, how in the heck are we going to do this? And now we're able to not have to worry about this part of it. We can just grab the stuff that we need out of the garage, and we can move on into the studio apartment because we know where everything's at. It's a blessing.
As the floodwaters begin to recede in the Texas Hill Country, hope is on the rise. Operation Blessing's staff and volunteers are on the ground providing help and support to families who've experienced traumatic disaster in this flooding. We're providing groceries, warm meals, disaster relief cleanup supplies, and we're helping families prep their homes to get back on their feet, back in their homes, and back to their lives. The days ahead mean long recovery, but we know we can make a difference with your support. Would you go to ob.org/obdisaster today and make a difference? Next up, Angie Alvarez. She was startled awake by flashing lights and pounding rain. With no time to pack and dangerous floodwaters rapidly approaching, she and her grandson had to act quickly to survive. She grabbed her purse, her phone, and her Bible and raced to safety, leaving behind everything else she owned.
Early in the morning, probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, I heard the rain. So I got up, I couldn't sleep. And I was just kind of walking back and forth trying to get calm because I heard the thunder and everything. And then about 4, I guess, I saw red and blue lights. And I thought it was maybe an ambulance looking for someone here, you know, like a patient to take. And I looked out the window and it was the fire department. And I saw them getting out of their truck with their flashlights looking at the road. And I kept telling my grandson, there's something going on. And he's like, I was talking to him and then he was trying to listen. He goes, Nana, hush, I got to hear. So he said, we got to go. He heard them say to evacuate immediately. I didn't grab anything, and this is so crazy. The only thing I grabbed was my purse, my phone, and my Bible. My porch is completely gone. This is the inside. So far. That's how high the water got, looks like. I found a lot of sadness. It was really sad for me to walk in there and see the mud, the water, everything just ruined. People around me just taking things out, crying. I have no words. It was just sad. It was sad. It was heartbreaking because to think that we could have been asleep. We could have been one of the ones washed away. You just never know. God was really looking out for us because He woke me up. With Operation Blessings, it's going to be a forever relationship for me. Oh my gosh, it's almost like we've known each other for years, because I mean it's not even just a handshake, it's a hug and a hey, how are you doing, and let's get this taken care of. Let's see what we can get in there and do. They're getting their hands dirty on a Saturday, on probably their day off, to help me. It's a godsend. I mean, it's like working with God, because they're all just so wonderful. I see God's work through everyone that's helping, through everyone, because this is not just something that you do without having God in your heart. You wouldn't just come out and work with this person or that person, or just pick up trash because you want to. It's a God thing. I know that this was tragic, and we lost a lot, but I think the rebuild, and I think that God has a plan for us. God wanted to show us we've got to come together, people. We really do.
Angie's words echo the experience of so many families here. Grief and gratitude living side by side. Angie's words, it's not even just a handshake, it's a hug, is such a perfect reflection of the importance of showing up for those who are hurting. That's exactly what Operation Blessing strives to bring into every home and community. Real, relational care. Reminders of brighter days ahead. But none of it would be possible without the hundreds of volunteers who have dropped everything to serve. When we come back, Dan Moore, part of the Operation Blessing Global Disaster Response Leadership Team, will join us to talk about the efforts in Texas. Joining me now is Dan Moore, part of the Operation Blessing Global Disaster Response Team organizing our national volunteer efforts. Dan, tell us what you've seen out there.
Drew, in the wake of these deadly floods, it's just been horrific. And having hope and action through our volunteers has been truly amazing. We've seen these volunteers not only come to give, but they've left just so impacted by what they've seen. But the connection with the homeowners has been so powerful. And so just this weekend, we had over 40 volunteers from Oak Hill Church, and we have many more that have registered. And as we're allowed to go in to these areas and love on homeowners and help them be able to salvage what they can save and then put to the road what needs to be picked up, we're going to continue to be there for the long haul.
Yeah, I know it's been so fun for me to get the nightly reports, to see the royal blue Operation Blessing volunteer shirts and, you know, groups of 20 people showing up on someone's front yard, and that person's not expecting them, doesn't know how they're going to do the work they have ahead of them, and suddenly all these strangers from all across come, and we have one goal, and it's to bring help and hope to this person who's desperately hurting in that moment. And so getting those reports, getting to see that has been really, really cool. I know there's a special story about a vehicle. Tell us about that story and what a difference that made.
Yeah, I mean, these homeowners are so overwhelmed. They don't know where to start. And so when our volunteers come to a homeowner and help them understand, we're going to rip out this saturated sheetrock and bring it to the road, and then they begin, their demeanor over the hours that they're working on their property begins to change, and that connection with those volunteers and the homeowner is really a powerful thing. And then as we were doing that with this one homeowner, we began moving the debris and then taking what could be saved to their garage so it could be secured. We found out that they had an older vehicle that was flooded, and one of our staff, who has mechanic-like skills, just went right to work, drained the engine and kept working on it, and turned it over and got it started again. And it was so great to see just those types of things. The homeowner was smiling and just so grateful. And that's the things that we love to be able to do, is put our arm around people, let them know that they're not alone, and walk alongside them. And that's what we plan to do right there in Hill Country, Texas.
Yeah, I love seeing that picture of Big Ben, our guy. He's one of our chefs, but he also is a mechanic and has been a truck driver in the past. And so seeing that picture of him under this car, turning a wrench, and that's not in the playbook. That's not what we typically do, but we go the extra mile for homeowners because we want to bring help and hope. And for a guy who's got an older vehicle like that and is now having to look at how do I restore the flooring in my home, the drywall, a vehicle expense is one more thing he doesn't need to deal with, and now he doesn't have to because of Operation Blessing and our staff and volunteers. So excited to see what's happening there on the ground. I want to take you now and show you a story of exactly how we're bringing that hope on the ground in Texas. This is an effort led by Bob Burke, one of Operation Blessing's incredible deployment managers, leading the effort. And I want to show you how 40 strangers became a lifeline for a man stuck on his porch.
We're here in Ingram, Texas, and this is the area where those horrific floods passed through and caused so much loss of life. We're only about 50 yards away from the river. We were driving through the area yesterday. It was actually the first time that we had a chance to get in the area, and we saw the owner of this house, David, on the front porch trying to shovel debris off and try to start cleaning. And we asked if he needed any help, and he stopped what he was doing, and he basically just wasn't sure what to do and where to go. I told him that we could get volunteers out here, and with the help of Oak Hills Church, we were able to get 40 plus volunteers out here this morning.
We here as a church have been doing disaster relief work for years because in the context of all this happening, we realize people are not only devastated, but they need to have a sense of hope. And we know that the basis of hope in our faith is in Jesus Christ. So in Christ's name, we come in to be the hands and feet of our Lord. Scripture's been very clear about that, where you come in and you move in such a way that you're not only being sensitive, but you're given an opportunity for these guys to start thinking through and processing about what's next.
We are going to go to work getting all of his valuables packaged up safely, cleaning out damaged furniture, and anything they consider trash will move out. We've ordered a roll-off dumpster so that we can take care of his debris as well as the neighborhood's debris. And we're basically going to do everything we can to help them get back on their feet. Like I said, when we got here yesterday, he was drenched in sweat, trying to do it by himself because he wasn't sure what to do. And so we brought 40 people out today, and
we have worked off and on with Operation Blessings through the year, and we have an ongoing relationship with you guys. And so it was a natural thing when you guys came into the community and made that connection, started talking through about how we wanted to come in, because You guys were looking for trained volunteers and leaders to come in. We were looking for somebody to help us facilitate and get things organized in the community. So it's just a natural combination of a partnership between the two, our church and with Operation Blessing.
This wouldn't be possible without your prayers, your support, and we so appreciate that. You're making a big difference here in Ingram, Texas. God bless you.
Hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, and storms often strike when least expected, leaving devastation in their wake. Families lose homes, livelihoods, and hope. Many face the daunting challenge of recovery and overwhelming cleanup all alone. But you can bring hope. Operation Blessing's Global Disaster Response Team deploys quickly to hard-hit areas, offering aid, supplies, and encouragement, and we need your help. By volunteering, you can shine as a light in the darkness, helping families muck out homes, clear debris, distribute hot meals, and provide emotional and spiritual support. There's a job for everyone. When disaster strikes, Operation Blessing will alert you with ways to help. Together, with a network of volunteers like you, we bring relief and share the love of Jesus to a hurting world. Will you join us? Visit ob.org/volunteer to bless people today. Operation Blessing is building a community of dedicated volunteers across the country, ready at a moment's notice to jump in and begin serving families and communities who have been impacted by disasters. These modern-day Good Samaritans come from far and wide to serve others they do not know and to whom they have no prior connection. They feel the call to come and help, to be a light in the darkness. Here's the story of one man and his uncle answering that call.
I came from Dallas, Texas. We heard from Operation Blessing by coming to Tide Loads of Hope. We saw y'all's tent when we drove by, and I was wanting to ask if y'all had any volunteer opportunities, which y'all did. We scanned, we signed up, and we showed up the next day, and today this is where we're at. I would say, being a Texan here, we are very helpful to others, and as soon as this happened, we just knew we had to come down. I'm here with my uncle, and we just, as soon as it happened, we were just wanting to come.
I'm retired SAPD from San Antonio, retired as a detective. I did fire and EMS as well. I usually do respond to people in crisis and in need.
We see how everyone here has come together from all over the place, from Texas, from Louisiana. I've talked to people from Kansas and Mississippi, and everybody has come down to help.
And I was paying attention to the radio and everything else going on, and the social media and the media and Facebook. And I saw them asking for help down here for volunteers, and when I saw that, I immediately got in touch with the church.
I just feel like it's such a great thing that we've all come together as a community to come help those in need, and just be here as long as they need it to be. Operation Blessing is amazing. I love it so far. It's been great. There's bringing us waters and keeping us hydrated, making sure we're safe and okay, bringing us lunch and everything.
And you can be like Jonah and say, no, I'm not going to Nineveh over and over again and end up in the whale. But eventually you're going to end up in Nineveh, so why fight it anyway?
You've seen the faces and you've heard the stories, and now you can help write the next chapter. Operation Blessing is still serving meals, still restoring homes, still delivering supplies, and we're not leaving anytime soon. So whether you go, whether you give, or whether you pray, you can be part of the story. Visit ob.org/volunteer to sign up, or ob.org/disaster to make a gift that delivers real, lasting impact. The work is not done yet, and with your help, it never will be. From all of us at Operation Blessing, thank you, and God bless. Operation Blessing, responding to the flooding in Kerrville, Texas, and bringing help and hope where it's needed most.